Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want you to lean in close with me tonight as we gather under the banner of hope and faith, under the promise that no matter where you've been or what you've faced, you have the power to write your own story, to breathe life and purpose into every single day you're given. Tonight, I want us to look at a truth that shakes the foundations of how most of us view our existence. Life is without meaning. You bring meaning to it. The meaning of life is whatever you ascribe it to be. Being alive is the meaning. I want you to let that sink in. Feel the weight, and more importantly, the freedom of that statement. Life, in its raw form, is a blank page. It's an empty stage. It's a canvas untouched by paint. And God, in His infinite wisdom, has given each of us the brushes, the colors, and the script. You are both the artist and the author, and your life, your very being, is the masterpiece in progress. We spend so much time searching for meaning as if it's hidden somewhere in some distant corner of the universe. We think that meaning is waiting for us in a promotion, in a marriage, in a degree, in a title, in a status symbol. We cling to the idea that meaning is something we discover, like some lost treasure buried in the sands of time. But what if meaning is something we create? What if the miracle is not in stumbling across a pre-written purpose, but in boldly declaring day after day, "Today, I make this moment count. Today, I choose to infuse my life with intention. Today, my very breath will be a testament to love, to service, to courage, to faith." Picture for a moment an empty auditorium, four walls, rows of chairs waiting for an audience, a podium standing alone at center stage. That auditorium is life before you walk in. Nothing happens until you take your rightful place. Nothing stirs until you speak your truth. Nothing changes until you move. And so I want you to feel the power in knowing that the world you walk into each morning is that auditorium. It sits in hopeful silence, waiting for your story, waiting for your performance, waiting for your unique voice to reverberate through its hallways. And when you stand at that podium, when you open your mouth to live out your purpose, you're telling the world, "This is who I am. This is what matters to me. This is the message I bring." Now, I know that some of you here tonight have been wounded by life. You've stared into the abyss of betrayal. You've felt the sting of rejection. You've sunk under the burden of loss, of failure, of heartache. And when you look at that blank page, you see only darkness. You see only emptiness. You wonder, what can I possibly put on this page? What meaning can I weave from this pain? And here's the gospel truth. It is precisely in the crucible of your suffering that the most powerful stories are born. It is in the furnace of your trials that the gold of your character is refined. It is in the depths of your despair that the light of your testimony shines brightest. When I look back on my own journey, I don't see a trail of uninterrupted success. I see moments when I had no idea where the next gig was coming from. I see nights when the phone stayed silent and my faith felt as fragile as the empty script pages on my lap. I see auditions that turned cold. I see doors that shut hard in my face. But I also see the moments when, in the midst of that uncertainty, I chose to believe that God had something greater for me. I chose to believe that my meaning would not be determined by what people thought of me or by the roles I landed, but by how I lived when nobody was watching. I chose to believe that being alive, being fully present in the day-to-day grind, was itself an act of faith. And as I leaned into that belief, I discovered that my life wasn't meaningless at all. It was brimming with purpose because I declared it so. I wrote that declaration on every contract I signed, on every prayer I uttered, on every fist I raised when the world told me to sit down. And you have that same authority. You have that same power. You can choose today to write a new chapter, to paint a new scene, to breathe new life into your world. You don't have to wait for a lightning bolt from the sky or a voice thundering from the heavens to tell you that your life matters. You decide, you decree, you speak, you live. And each breath you take, each step you make, each conversation you hold becomes an affirmation that your existence has weight, has value, has meaning. Right here, right now, you can decide that your life's message will be one of hope, one of love, one of perseverance, one of service, one of grace. Now, let's talk about the how. How do we translate this profound truth into the day-to-day reality of our lives? How do we make sure that our days are not just filled with activity, but are infused with meaning? First, by recognizing that being alive is itself a profound gift. When the alarm blares at 5 a.m. and you slam your hand down on that snooze button for the third time, catch yourself. Remind yourself, I have been given another breath. I have another chance. That realization, simple as it may, seem as the spark that ignites everything else. Because gratitude births purpose. Grateful hearts are fertile ground for meaning. A soul that wakes up and whispers, "Thank you," steers its day towards significance. Second, by leaning into the relationships around us, our lives derive meaning not in isolation, but in connection. When you look at the faces in this room, when you feel the presence of your family, your friends, your community, you realize that your life is not just your own. Your life is intertwined with countless others. The words you speak can encourage or discourage. The kindness you show can heal or hurt. The time you invest can enrich or waste. So ask yourself every morning, who can I serve today? Who can I encourage? Who needs to hear that they matter? Because when you step into the role of a servant, you find that your existence becomes a river of blessing flowing out to everyone you encounter. Third, by pursuing your passions, your God-given gifts, your unique calling. There is something inside you that longs to be expressed, a talent, a creative spark, a compassionate heart that yearns to help others, a mind eager to innovate, a spirit determined to shine. When you neglect that spark, you settle for mediocrity. You allow your auditorium to stay silent. But when you fan that spark into flame, you set your stage ablaze. You give the world a glimpse of heaven itself. So I encourage you, frame your days around your gifts. How can I use the gifts God's given me today, not for my glory, but for the glory of the one who made me? When you live that way, every morning becomes a rehearsal for your grand performance, and every sunset bows to your faithfulness. Fourth, by embracing the growth process. Meaning doesn't fall into our laps like confetti. Meaning is forged in the furnace of challenge. It's tempered by adversity, polished by perseverance, shaped by reflection. When you encounter setbacks, when plans derail, when the script gets rewritten on, you don't declare defeat. Declare a plot twist. Declare a rewiring of your purpose. Declare that, even in the rewrite, the author's grace still guides your hand. Look back at those moments in your life when you felt broken, and then look at where you stand today. See how your character has been carved by those very circumstances. That's living proof that you bring meaning to your life. You define it, you refine it, you resurrect it. Finally, by living each day with an eternal perspective, we were not made merely for this temporal sphere. We were made for eternity. And when you remember that the life you're living now is but a prologue to a grander story, you treat every moment with reverence. You treat every interaction with respect. You treat every decision as a breadcrumb that leads to a kingdom agenda. You ask yourself, what will my legacy be? How will I be remembered? What message am I imprinting on the hearts I touch? When you live with that horizon in view, the mundane becomes magnificent. The ordinary becomes ordained. Every heartbeat is a beat in the choir of creation, and every breath is a note in the symphony of God's glory. So tonight, as you walk out of this place, I want you to feel the magnitude of your calling. You are more than a statistic. You are more than a job title. You are more than your successes and your failures. You are the living expression of divine purpose. You are the light in dark corners. You are the hope that refuses to go out. You are the song that keeps playing even when everyone else has gone silent. Remember this: life is without meaning. You bring meaning to it. The meaning of life is whatever you ascribe it to be. Being alive is the meaning. Let that truth echo in your soul. Let it fuel your gratitude, your service, your creativity, your perseverance, your legacy. Stand before the blank pages of tomorrow and say, tonight, I write a story of courage. Tonight, I paint a masterpiece of love. Tonight, I declare that being alive is my reason, my purpose, my anthem. And when the world watches, let them see your heart beat with conviction. Let them hear your voice ring with authority. Let them witness your life stand as an inspiring message that says to every soul you meet, you matter. Your story matters. Your life brings meaning to the world. God bless you all. Live boldly, love deeply, serve faithfully, and every day remember, you are the author and the artist of your own life. Now go create a masterpiece. If today's message touched something in you, don't stop here. Join God Bless You, our members-only space where inspiration runs deeper, lessons get real, and we grow stronger together. It's not just support, it's family, it's fire, it's faith. Hit that join button, and let's keep walking this journey side by side. God bless you, always. You've just finished listening to the show. To view other episodes, please click on the playlist icon currently displayed on the screen. Thank you.